I thought I'd be happy when we moved into our new house. I was having my very own bedroom for the first time ever. I used to be ashamed of having sleepovers with my friends at our old house because I used to share a bedroom with my disgusting brother, Tommy. It was as if I was squatting with him. Everything in that room was just boyish. Ugh, I hated it. A few days later, we settled in, and that was when it all began. At first, I thought my mind was just messing with me, but turns out it wasn't. I felt thirsty in the middle of one night, so I went downstairs and poured myself a glass of water. I was gulping it down when I began to hear a weird piano melody coming from one of the rooms upstairs. That was strange because there was no piano upstairs. I decided to go have a look, so I started walking up the stairs, and why the hell was I hearing someone's footsteps behind me? I turned, but it was empty. I thought maybe I had too much water to drink. Yeah, I know water is not alcohol, but explain that shit to me. So I freaked out and ran. The footsteps were running after me, but I couldn't afford to look back. I've seen stuff like this way too many times in the movies. I wasn't going to be another black person who acted foolishly instead of just using my instincts. But when I got up, I saw the room the sound was coming from. It was one of the empty rooms we didn't know what to do with. I wanted to just walk straight to my room and shut the door, but I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep if I didn't check out what was making that sound. So I slowly tiptoed to the door, and then I opened it. It was dark. I flicked the light on, and it was empty. I was about to close the door, and that was when I saw the huge shadow on the floor. Was I going to turn back and stare at it? Hell no. I shut the door, closed my eyes, and ran towards the direction of my room. The next day at breakfast, I told my parents what I had experienced the night before, but they just laughed and went to work. They were too busy trying to climb the corporate ladder and didn't really show concern about anything else. So I turned to my brother Tommy and I told him everything that happened. He just stared at me with a stupid look on his face and then he began to laugh. I was telling these people how I almost shit my pants in our new haunted house and all they did was laugh at me. I felt terrible because Tommy was the stupid one. I wasn't. He was the one who always came up with stuff that made no sense, but there I was, being the clown of the family. I hated the feeling, so I decided to prove to Tommy that what I saw was real. So I set up cameras and sensors around the house, and I deprived myself of sleep. I always had my eyes on the monitor. One fateful night it happened. The camera captured a spectral figure. He told me his name was Walter Gray and he used to own our new house. He said he was trapped between my world and the underworld, and he wanted me to be his friend because he had been lonely for years. He seemed like a genuinely nice person, and although I was still scared, I decided to be friends with a ghost. So I'd be at the dinner table eating with my family, and at the same time, I would be talking and laughing with Walter. I was the only one who could see him, so that freaked my parents out because they thought I was losing my mind. But Tommy was still laughing at me. He still thought I was just acting stupid. That night, Walter appeared when I was about to sleep and made a shocking request. He needed a body to possess, to be able to escape his form and be human again. And he wanted me to be the vessel he'd use. He promised to show me other beautiful worlds that had no genocide, racism, abortions, and woke people. I didn't know how exactly he was planning on achieving his goal, but I wanted to help a friend, or so I thought. He gave me some time to think if I really wanted to do it before it happened. Little did I know that Tommy was right outside my door, listening to me and Walter's conversation. He claimed he could finally hear his voice and that he believed me, but he didn't think I should do it. He said it was dangerous and I could lose myself.
What's funny? Why are you laughing?
I'm just happy you're back.
Back? What do you mean? I never left the house.
No, I mean, just forget it. But stop trying to scare me away from this amazing opportunity that never happens to anyone.
Because it's ridiculous.
Honey boy, you're a kid. You don't understand. Just go to bed.
What? You're only 2 years older than me.
I chased Tommy out of my room before he got me more annoyed. The day for the ritual finally came, and with the help of Walter, I rigged the house with projectors and sound systems that would amplify his sound and gradually turn him into a human. I still don't understand the physics behind that, but it worked. The ritual started and immediately, the entire house was filled with eerie sounds and Walter's ghost became more visible. I was standing there, not knowing what to expect after the ritual was done, and then all of a sudden, I found myself levitating in the air. I had no control over my body. It was then I understood what Walter meant by using me as a vessel. I could feel this ghost enter my body. I knew I might die at that moment, but then a miracle happened. The front door burst open and Tommy ran in. He immediately unplugged all the equipment, causing a surge that momentarily weakened Walter. Tommy ran to help me up, and as he was trying to rush me out of the room, Walter lashed out at Tommy, causing him to pass out. I called my parents and told them what had happened. They came home and we rushed Tommy to the hospital. The doctor told us he was going to be fine, and after a few hours, he woke up. My parents began to apologize for not believing me when I told them what I witnessed. They also apologized for not having time for us and that Tommy's accident had taught them a valuable lesson about being present. I also felt bad for not listening to Tommy when he told me not to do what Walter wanted. It pains me to admit it, but I was the stupid one this time. Tommy got discharged and we went back home. That night I woke up to get myself a glass of water. As I was down in the kitchen, I heard a strange sound coming from upstairs. Again, I ran up and realized it was coming from Tommy's room. I opened the door and I saw him levitating. And then he called my name, the same way Walter used to call it.